Crowe was born in Strathmore Park, a suburb of Wellington, New Zealand, on April 7, 1964, the son of film set caterers Jocelyn Yvonne, née Weems, and John Alexander Crowe. His father also managed a hotel. His maternal grandfather, Stan Weems, was a cinematographer who was appointed an MBE for filming footage of World War II as a member of the New Zealand Film Unit. Crowe is Maori and identifies with Ngati Porou through one of his maternal great-great-grandmothers. His paternal grandfather, John Doubleday Crowe, was a Welshman from Wrexham, while another of his grandparents was Scottish. His other ancestry includes English, German, Irish, Italian, Norwegian, and Swedish. He is a cousin of former New Zealand national cricket captains Martin and Jeff Crowe, and the nephew of cricketer Dave Crowe. Through his paternal grandmother, he is a direct descendant of Simon Fraser, 11th Lord Lovat, the last man to be beheaded in Britain. When Crowe was 4 years old, his family moved to Australia and settled in Sydney, where his parents pursued their career in film set catering. His mother's godfather was the producer of the Australian TV series Spy Force, and Crowe was hired for a line of dialogue in one episode of the series at age 5 or 6, opposite series star Jack Thompson. Later, in 1994, Thompson would play the supportive father of Crowe's gay character in The Sum of Us. Crowe also appeared briefly in the serial The Young Doctors. In Australia, he was educated at Vaucluse Public School and Sydney Boys High School before his family moved back to New Zealand in 1978 when he was 14. He continued his secondary education at Auckland Grammar School with his cousins and brother Terry, and Mount Roskill Grammar School before leaving school at the age of 16 to pursue his acting ambitions. In 1989, Crowe met Australian singer Danielle Spencer while working on the film The Crossing, and the two began an on-again, off-again relationship. In 2000, he became romantically involved with American actress Meg Ryan while working on their film Proof of Life. In 2001, Crowe and Spencer reconciled, and they married 2 years later in April 2003. The wedding took place at Crowe's cattle property in Nana Glen, New South Wales, with the ceremony taking place on Crowe's 39th birthday. The couple have 2 sons, Charles Spencer Crowe, born December 21, 2003, and Tennyson Spencer Crowe, born July 7, 2006. In October 2012, it was reported that Crowe and Spencer had separated. They divorced in April 2018. A longtime resident of Nana Glen, Crowe is well known in the community and is a frequent patron of the local rugby games. During the Australian bushfires in 2019 and 2020, he raised over $400,000 for the NSWRFS by selling his South Sydney Rabbitohs hat in an online auction. On March 9, 2005, Crowe revealed to GQ magazine that FBI agents had approached him prior to the 73rd Academy Awards and told him that the terrorist group Al-Qaeda wanted to kidnap him. He recalled, "It was something to do with some recording picked up by a French policewoman, I think, in either Libya or Algiers. It was about taking iconographic Americans out of the picture as a sort of cultural destabilization plan." At the beginning of 2009, Crowe appeared in a series of special edition postage stamps called Legends of the Screen, featuring Australian actors. Crowe, Jeffrey Rush, Cate Blanchett, and Nicole Kidman each appear twice in the series, once as themselves and once as their Academy Award-nominated character. Crowe is the only non-Australian to appear in the stamps. In June 2010, Crowe, who started smoking when he was 10, announced he had quit for the sake of his 2 sons. In November, he told David Letterman that he had smoked more than 60 cigarettes a day for 36 years, and that he had fallen off the wagon the night before the interview and smoked heavily. Between 1999 and 2005, Crowe was involved in 4 altercations, which gave him a reputation for having a bad temper. In 1999, Crowe was involved in an altercation with a woman at the Plantation Hotel in Coffs Harbour, in which he was caught on a security camera kissing a man trying to placate him. Two men were acquitted of using the video in an attempt to blackmail him. In 2002, when part of Crowe's appearance at that year's BAFTA Awards was cut out to fit into the BBC's tape-delayed broadcast, Crowe used strong language during an argument with producer Malcolm Jerry. The part cut was a Patrick Kavanagh poem in tribute to actor Richard Harris, which was cut for copyright reasons. Crowe later apologized, saying, "What I said to him may have been a little bit more passionate than now, in the cold light of day. I would have liked it to have been." Later in 2002, Crowe was alleged to have been involved in a brawl with businessman Eric Watson inside the London branch of Yuma, a Japanese restaurant chain. The fight was broken up by English actor Ross Kemp. In June 2005, Crowe was arrested and charged with second-degree assault by the NYPD after he threw a telephone at the concierge of the Mercer Hotel who had refused to help him place a call when the system did not work from Crowe's room. He was also charged with fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon, the telephone. The concierge was treated for a facial laceration. After his arrest, Crowe underwent a perp walk, a procedure customary in New York City, exposing the handcuffed suspect to the news media to take pictures. This procedure was under discussion as potentially violating Article 5 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Crowe later described the incident as possibly the most shameful situation that I've ever gotten myself in. Crowe pleaded guilty and was conditionally discharged. Before the trial, he settled a lawsuit filed by the concierge, Nestor Estrada. Terms of the settlement were not disclosed, but amounts in the six-figure range have been reported. The telephone incident had a generally negative impact on Crowe's public image, an example of negative public relations in the mass media, although Crowe had made a point of befriending Australian journalists in an effort to influence his image. The South Park episode, The New Terrence and Phillip movie trailer, revolves around a lampooning of his aggressive tendencies. Crowe commented on the ongoing media coverage in November 2010 during an interview with American television talk show host and journalist Charlie Rose. "I think it indelibly changed me. It was a very, very minor situation that was made into something outrageous. More violence perpetuated me walking between the car to the courtroom with the waiting media than anything I'd done." It very after initial success in Australia, Crowe first starred in a Canadian production in 1993, For the Moment, before concentrating on American films. He co-starred with Denzel Washington in Virtuosity, the duo later appearing together in American Gangster, and with Sharon Stone in The Quick and the Dead in 1995. He went on to become a three-time Oscar nominee, winning the Academy Award as Best Actor in 2000 for Gladiator. Crowe was awarded the Australian Centenary Medal in 2001 for service to Australian society and Australian film production. Crowe received 3 consecutive Best Actor Oscar nominations for The Insider, Gladiator, and A Beautiful Mind. Crowe won the Best Actor award for A Beautiful Mind at the 2002 BAFTA Award ceremony, as well as the Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild Awards for the same performance. Although nominated for an Academy Award, he lost to Denzel Washington. All 3 films were also nominated for Best Picture, and both Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind won the award. Crowe became the first actor to star as the lead in back-to-back Best Picture winners since Walter Pidgeon, who starred in How Green Was My Valley and Mrs. Miniver. Within the 6-year stretch from 1997 to 2003, he also starred in 2 other Best Picture nominees, LA Confidential and Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. In 2005, he reteamed with A Beautiful Mind director Ron Howard for the biographical boxing drama Cinderella Man. In 2006, he reteamed with Gladiator director Ridley Scott for A Good Year, the first of 2 consecutive collaborations, the second being American Gangster co-starring again with Denzel Washington, released in late 2007. Although the light romantic comedy of A Good Year was not greatly received, Crowe seemed pleased with the film, telling STV in an interview that he thought it would be enjoyed by fans of his other films. "Definitely affected me, psychologically.